When I got into model railroading, I wanted a break from screens, a break from work, a break from typing passwords, reading logs, fighting exploits, just some quiet time, a bit of metal on metal, the comforting clack of wheels on rails. So, of course, what did I do? I made a spreadsheet. Lens Mindtime is a great method for operating small layouts with Switchlists. Structured, methodical, but satisfying. And naturally, I tried it. I opened up LibreOffice on my Linux box, because yes, even my trains run on open source, and spent hours building this custom form complete with logic that could have automated car movements like a Swiss watch. But after a while and several programming failures later, I realized something. I'd spent more time writing macros, and poorly at that, than running trains. And honestly, if I wanted to do all this programming, I would have just stayed at work. So in the end, I printed out a blank form and started filling it in by hand. So here I am, pulling one car and placing another, nice and easy, nice and slow. With the printed form, I feel more present, more grounded. No screens, just trains, a clipboard, and my favorite pen. Do you have a favorite pen? I do. I love thin lines, I love strong colors, I love gel ink. My wife knows I'm obsessed. She's always hunting for new ones for me. I can't even tell who makes my current favorites, but they are pretty great. Now granted, it's a small thing for sure, but the pen adds a kind of texture to the hobby that a screen never could. A tactile satisfaction that adds even more value to an already enjoyable experience. And speaking of screens, I used to make more elaborate videos than this. Time lapses, narration, editing, overlays, transitions, the whole package. But YouTube doesn't really reward that anymore. Not unless you've already made it, which I haven't. And nowadays it's all shorts. And I get it. YouTube's chasing profit, competing with TikTok and Instagram. So if you're not pumping out vertical dopamine hits, your stuff just sinks. I don't make videos for the money, and I never did. But the feedback, the comments, that little rush of someone saying, hey, that was great, well, that was my reward. And now, just silence. So if you're wondering why you're seeing fewer uploads from me, or why they're simpler, that's why. Plus, summer's here, and I'm out cycling, gardening, or working on some other projects. But on YouTube, my return of investment's gone. It doesn't mean I won't post now and then, it just means I'll do it on my own terms, as I'm clearly not satisfying the algorithms. Okay, now let's talk about something that did work out. I asked AI to write me a simple switch list generator that would run on any browser. I worked out in plain English the logic flow of how I wanted the generator to behave from start to finish, setting limits, expectations, and fail-safes. And with the logic laid out, I first tried Microsoft Copilot, mostly because I have a full license for it. And well, let's just say that Microsoft Copilot still needs some work. It kept referencing imaginary files online, kept getting some basics wrong, and otherwise making an absolute mess of what was nothing more than a glorified web page. ChatGPT was a little more responsive. Again, I fed it the logic flow what I wanted and asked it to write a simple JavaScript switch list generator I could run in a browser. Something I could print out quickly without diving into LibreOffice hell or a copy of my analog clipboard and pen version. It took a few tries, 17 tries actually. It didn't really read my mind at first, and I know that's coming, but the more I explained, the better it got. I gave it my list of freight cars, my rules, my preferences, and now I have a little tool that spits out a switch list with a single click. While it's nowhere near perfect, I can choose how many cars to move, weight operations towards certain industries, even have special cars. And for the most part, it just works. I even got it to fill in a few spots with stationary cars that only have one purpose: to be in the way. There's no screen fatigue, just a helpful little assistant doing what it does best: logic and repetition. By the way, I love these hopper cars. I love switching them. They feel weighty, like they've got a story. And with the new system, operations flow better. I'm not wasting time second guessing or recalculating. I'm just railroading. Speaking of just railroading, there's been a lot of noise in the hobby lately about import tariffs and model prices. You've probably seen that video that's making the rounds. It's a bunch of manufacturers that they got together and they're warning us again the costs are going up. And I get it. First it was a global pandemic, now it's trade wars, inflation, shipping containers, etc., etc. But let's be honest, prices were already insane. A Rapido RDC at $800, and that's before the tariffs, and it still might arrive with quality control issues. Meanwhile, my Life-Like Proto 1000 RDC cost me $31. Okay, fair, it's not museum level detail, but it has the exact same ESU sounds like Rapido's version, and it runs like a dream. And the best part is, it always has, and there's a good chance it always will. There are no regrets there. So how's this? I'm not angry about tariffs. I'm angry we were being gouged before they hit. Athearn raised the prices of in-stock items before the tariffs even landed. If the industry's crying now, well, I'm not exactly reaching for the tissue box. They lost me as a customer years ago, not because of price, but because of poor quality. At this point, I don't need hundreds of models. I just need a few good ones. And I already have them, and they're all from 2 decades ago. And maybe that's the point. The models I run today, they don't fight me. They don't need firmware updates. They don't need warranty claims the instant they come new out of the box, or hours of tuning just to move an inch. They work, plain and simple. They've always worked. And because of that, I get to do the one thing I actually came here to do: run trains, thoughtfully, slowly, one switch list at a time. Whether it's a printed form I scribble on with my favorite pen, or a JavaScript widget I launch in a browser. That's what matters. That's why I'm here. I'm present and I'm engaged. And maybe this is all it was ever about. And if a few of you are still watching, still commenting, well, thanks. That makes it all worth it.